Hello everybody and welcome to this webinar on it's called Things Can Only Get Better by Bogg from the University of Leeds. It's all about sort of using the Continual Service Improvement Programme to achieve certification. Is that right, Sally?
That's right, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, in that case, I'll hand straight over and we'll have a quick chat at the end and I'll let people know how they can send in any questions. Thank you. Over to you, Sally.
Okay, well thank you. So I'm going to start with a quick introduction. As Zoe said, I'm Sally and I'm the Help Desk Manager for the University of Leeds IT Help Desk. I'm going to be talking today about continual service improvement and how we've used this process to drive through our service desk certification programme. So I thought I'd start with a little bit of background information. So we are a large IT help desk by higher education standards. We currently employ 9 full-time members of staff and 1 part-time, 2 supervisors and a help desk manager. And we're also very fortunate to have a dedicated help desk project and development coordinator. We currently are providing support, help, advice and guidance to users of IT systems and services, and we make up part of the central IT provision at the university. However, we're not the only help desk. At the moment, the University of Leeds has a combination of centralised and distributed IT services, so we are not the only IT help desk within the university environment. However, this is currently under review as part of a large transformational change programme called One IT. So then, we log around 80,000 calls per year, and we are currently using Heat, Front Range Heat, as our incident management tool. However, we are right in the middle of a procurement exercise for a new IT service management tool, and we envisage that this will be in place early next year. We also have a number of value-added services, and these include a chargeable laptop repair service and a loan laptop service, both of which actually generate income, again something I think is quite unusual for higher education. These services are just really, really popular with students. So I've been in the role as Help Desk Manager for just over 3 years, and prior to that I was the departmental ITIL Incident Manager, and I'd also worked in a service delivery role for about 2 years previously. But however, my background is actually in retail. I've held a wide variety of positions, never really staying anywhere for that long, but I think it's actually my background in retail that just makes me so passionate and excited about customer service and service management. Well, that's enough about us. As I said, I'm going to be talking about continual service improvement and how we've used it to drive our service desk certification programme. But really, I just wanted to tell you how it all came about. And it really started off as a couple of questions. What do our customers and users think of the IT services, and what is their perception of the service desk? And just as important, how do other IT teams see the service desk, and how do the team actually view themselves? We found that in recent years, the break-fix IT support model is no longer our primary purpose, and I think that's the same for the industry really. We're all having to support a much broader array of technologies with a focus on delivering value-added services. Our help desk had really grown and developed a lot in the past few years. We'd really moved on from this traditional catch and dispatch environment to a proactive help desk with these value-added services and with a real focused approach to service quality and customer service. However, the perception of the desk, both by users and other IT staff, had maybe not moved forward quite as much as we'd like. More importantly, we wanted to make sure that the team actually understood their role in the organisation, and so that they would view themselves as each other as IT professionals providing really high quality customer service. And it was also about service improvement. We'd been trying to implement service reviews over the years. We'd had a number, including an IT help desk review, incident management process review, amongst others. We had a huge list of recommendations that was really very long, and we just weren't sure where to start. What we were looking for was a benchmark and a planned approach to service improvement. We also wanted to look at service quality. We thought we were doing a really good job, but how did we know that, and how were we able to demonstrate this back to the department and to the university? What we wanted was a quality mark and help identifying specific activities that we could use to improve our service, demonstrating value to the business and improving customer satisfaction. So to summarise then, what we wanted was a way of identifying and prioritising specific service improvement activities, improve our relationship with our stakeholders, including customers and senior managers, raising the profile of the desk. And we really felt that this is what the Service Desk Certification Programme would give us. So then, why did we go with the Service Desk Certification Programme? We had a couple of reasons. We had membership with them, and so we already had that business relationship. We were using them for our staff training, and we were really happy with the content and the quality of the courses. And the Service Desk standards really just made sense to us. It covered all the areas that had arisen in previous service reviews, and the star rating system was really simple and easy to understand, but it was also something that was quite easy to demonstrate, something we could go back to the university with. So then the next stage was really about planning how we were going to implement Service Desk certification, and it really came down to a fight between continual service improvement and project management. What we didn't want to do was run this as a project. I was very concerned that we would invest heavily in time and resource and then walk away at the end of the programme. And it was just really important that we had this continuous cycle of service improvements, as we had struggled in the past to keep the momentum going after projects had finished. Using a continual service improvement process would give us that momentum for quality improvement, and it would really help us to embed the changes into the help desk. We also felt that by running this as a CSIP, we could ensure that the process got the correct support and resource, and that the team really understood where we were going with it. So then, this is the continual service improvement model, and we looked at this and tried to work out how we could map the Service Desk Certification Programme against each stage. And I'm sure this map is very familiar to a lot of you. So we start with, what is the vision? What are our objectives for the Service Desk and the Continual Service Improvement Plan? Where are we now? Needing to undertake an assessment and possibly look at a benchmark. Where do we want to be? Needing smart objectives and measurable targets. And how do we get there? What is our plan? How are we going to implement any changes? Did we get there? Again, looking at assessment and benchmarking. What were our objectives and targets, and did we meet them? And so we came to realise that the Service Desk Certification Programme actually aligned really closely with this. So what is the vision? We outlined the overall objective for the help desk and the Continual Service Improvement Plan. Where are we now? We wanted to take the initial benchmark, and this was phase 1 of the Service Desk Certification, and is actually called the Assessment Audit. So where do we want to be? Well, we looked at the Service Desk Certification Maturity Model, and we set ourselves a target. And how do we get there? Well, we use the outputs from the benchmark and the recommendations report to start to progress the Continual Service Improvement Plan. Did we get there? And this is phase 2 of the Service Desk Certification Programme, and it's a certification audit. And then how do we get there? How do we keep the momentum going? And again, this is phase 3 of the Service Desk Certification Programme, surveillance audits. These typically take place 12 to 24 months after the certification audit, and again we can use the outputs from certification reports to really progress. So then, we had to make sure that any vision we set for the service and for the Continual Service Improvement Plan aligned to the business and to the university. So we looked at the university strategy map and the One IT vision and mission, and we started to map out our vision against these to make sure that they aligned. The output of this exercise was a mission and a vision poster. These have been printed off and placed in various key locations within our desk. And we did this so we really were setting out our stall, making sure that every person within the team understood what we were trying to achieve. And we wanted to make sure that the CSIP became a living, breathing thing and not sort of dusty shelfware. We also published a Service Desk mission statement on the website for our end users to view. And so then, what is the vision? Well, we'd reviewed the Service Desk Certification Maturity Model and assessed each of the levels, looking at what we felt would be achievable in the timeframes and what was right for our organisation, agreeing that our overall mission should be to aim for proactive 2-star service desk for 2013 and a customer-led 3-star service desk by 2014. A 3-star service desk is described in the maturity model as a desk that has SLAs, OLAs, strong service level management, including formal account management and service reviews, and customer satisfaction processes. It should have KPIs that are linked to OLAs and SLAs, should be formal staff reward and recognition schemes, and the IT department should have a wider IT service management implementation that included mature internal marketing. So then, the next stage, where are we now? And this is really all about putting your stake in the ground and marking your starting point. And this is where the external benchmark comes in. The first audit gives an initial assessment of the current service provision, and by having external auditors come in, we were able to get an unbiased view of where the help desk currently sat against the service desk standards. This unbiased view was extremely important to us. I'm not sure if any of you out there have attempted self-assessment or used self-assessment tools. It's just really, really difficult to be objective, and from my own personal experience, this is something that I've really struggled with. So the next stage was the assessment audit, and this was held in November 2012. We made a real conscious decision not to prep for this audit. It was quite brave of us, quite a difficult decision, but that's what we decided. And the reason being was that we really wanted the auditors to come in and see us as we really are and as we really work. We weren't about putting our best face on. We did spend some time socialising and familiarising the teams about the process, very much done as a positive, so that the team saw it as an opportunity and an opportunity for everybody to get involved in service improvement. You will need to get buy-in from the whole department, as they're going to be involved in the assessment and the certification audits. But you know what, this was much easier than I thought it was going to be. People actually quite like talking about their roles and their jobs and the work that they do, particularly like in areas like ours where there's a lot of silos, and actually people were flattered and surprised they've been asked to contribute. And in the end, I even got people complaining that they hadn't been asked. So then, the assessment scoring, and I'll be really honest, I was shocked. It was very, very stringent, and it was really tough. For the first few minutes, I just sat there in stunned silence. We'd scored 1.76, which was not going to get us a 2-star rating. I think with these things, you have to be realistic, and I'm not sure that I was, and this was a bit of a reality check for me. I really thought we had the best help desk in the world, and I was waiting for the auditors to come in and tell us that. They didn't, and although there were lots of positives, there were also a lot of areas where we needed to improve. No matter how good you are, I think there is always room to improve and always room to be better, and it's just worth reminding yourself of that. So after the feedback, we waited for the recommendations report to come through, and this takes about 2 weeks. And I have to say it's a really good report. It's a nice, short, concise document with a list of things that you need to do. It even details where it's a showstopper and where it's really an opportunity to increase the rating. And this made the next stage so much easier. So we had looked at the service desk certification maturity model, and we set out our vision and mission as achieving a 3-star accreditation by 2014. This would mean achieving a minimum score of 2.3 and above in each of the 9 concept areas, and an overall score of 3.1 and above. At the initial assessment stage, we'd scored only 1.76, with our lowest score of 0.6 for customer satisfaction. So you can see that actually we had a really long way to go. So how then do we get there? Well, we started by looking at the audit recommendations report, and we started to build these into the CSIP. We split the tasks down into those that could be achieved in the 6 months before the certification audit, and those that would be implemented as part of the wider One IT programme. We held a team session, and we went through all the recommendations one by one. We had over 42 individual recommendations to look at. So I asked the volunteers to take ownership, and I think this is really important. You need to involve everyone to build a sense of ownership and get buy-in. And this has been a positive, as it has actually given team members an opportunity to take on things that they normally wouldn't. Now, if I've made this sound easy, I have to say it really wasn't. It's needed someone to own the overall process and really drive it forward. I have spent the last 10 months really pushing this process and ensuring that as a team we are doing everything we can to complete the task within the CSIP. It has been such hard work. During the whole process, every single member of the team has taken on additional responsibility. But you know what? It has been really worth it, and we've had quite good fun along the way as well. So then, did we get there? Phase 2 of the Service Desk Certification Programme is the certification audit. We booked the audit for the end of June as we felt this would be the best time once we've got over the peak of exam periods, and this time we did put a lot of effort into prepping for the audit. All the team had to familiarise themselves with the standards. We held individual sessions with everyone that was going to be involved in the audit interviews, and we made sure that every single person understood what work had been undertaken for each of the 9 areas. It really is worth investing in and socialising the process, as you will need buy-in from all areas of the IT operation. You're going to need buy-in from senior managers as well, as they're going to be required for some of the interviews, and of course the auditors will want to talk to customers and users. This time the audit takes place over 4 days rather than 2, and it's much more evidence-based. It isn't enough to say that you're doing something, you really have to demonstrate that. Once again, I found this a really intense process. Had to remind myself why we were doing it. The auditors aren't there giving criticism, they're giving feedback on where you may or may not be meeting the SDI standards. So the SDI give you a big list of evidence that you have to prepare in advance, but I also found it was worth documenting every single thing that we did within the CSIP. I could then make the CSIP available to the auditors, and this is a good way of demonstrating that you have committed to the process and provide you with a bit of backup and just a bit more additional evidence. So then, with a lot of hard work and a lot of effort and a lot of dedication from the team, we increased our score from an initial 1.76 to a whopping 3.02, smashed our target of 2.76 and narrowly missed out on 3 stars by only 0.07, but I'm not bitter. This puts us in a really good position to achieve 3-star rating for 2014, and actually we were really happy with this. As you can see from this slide, we managed to achieve a 3-star rating for policy and strategy, people and management, resources, processes, people satisfaction and social responsibility. We got 2 stars for customer satisfaction and leadership, and we got a single star for performance results. So then, how do we keep the momentum going? Well, following the certification audit in June, we received another recommendations report, this time with 51 individual recommendations to implement, although slightly longer because we do have 12 months. This again will be followed up by a surveillance audit, probably in June next year, and it will give us an opportunity to increase our score rating, or decrease if you are the kind of person whose glass is half full. I guess it depends on which way you look at it. But you know what? We don't want to stop there. Although the Service Desk certification, it will remain our key driver for continual service improvement, we now want to start broadening the scope. You might wonder what this is. Well, this is our customer satisfaction kiosk. In July 2013, we introduced a customer satisfaction strategy at the help desk, purchasing a solution from a company called CRT Viewpoint. This consists of survey software, 2 customer satisfaction kiosks and a portable tablet. We identified that accurate and timely customer feedback is a key requirement for improving our customer satisfaction. The kiosks are portable and can be placed in any location where there is a standard power socket, and the software allows us to create and manage bespoke surveys which can easily be uploaded to the kiosk and tablet devices. The software is really good because it filters out false inputs, and it just means that we can ensure that data is accurate and has a really high level of integrity. And this is going to help us ensure we're capturing feedback at the point of entry. And we're already seeing our return rates increase considerably, so we've gone up from maybe 10 to 15 a week. I think we're averaging about 60 or 70 now. We also looked at our complaints procedure and just refined it a little more, so it now includes compliments and suggestions. This ensures that verbal and written feedback is logged in our system and means that we have a fair and consistent approach for users wishing to comment on the service. By logging feedback in this way, we can make sure that it's recorded and can be reported and acted on, and this includes positive as well as negative feedback. And it can also be used to inform the Continual Service Improvement Plan. We can also ensure that appropriate feedback is given to help desk staff if compliments or complaints relate particularly to them. We're now also able to provide management information on complaints, compliments and feedback as part of our quality assurance process, and we're making sure that feedback is seen through to closure and satisfactory resolution. We're going to review these reports on a monthly basis, and once again outcomes will be added to the Continual Service Improvement Plan. So call coaching as well. Call coaching and monitoring can be another way of improving customer satisfaction and the quality assurance process, and can be used to give an insight into direct interactions between customers and help desk staff. In March 2013, the help desk introduced a call coaching process that includes the monitoring of telephone calls, incident tickets and emails. And this process now gives us a mechanism for staff training and development and a means to improving call quality. I was really worried about introducing this. I didn't want the team to feel that we were sort of spying on them, and we didn't really want to introduce a call centre mentality, so I was a little bit cautious, a little bit nervous. However, my concerns turned out to be completely unfounded. As with everything, the team have really welcomed this initiative with relish, and we now have people jostling for their turn at coaching sessions, which is great. So I just want to talk a little bit about marketing our services. Originally this webinar was going to be part of IT Service Week, but due to some technical issues we're having to record at a later date. But really I just wanted to let you know what we've done for IT Service Week. We really saw it as an opportunity to raise our profile and engage with our users. So we got some free Your IT goodie bags that we were giving away to students. We used the Twitter hashtag IT Service Week 13. We tweeted quite a lot during the week, top 10 tips for IT, that kind of thing. We also set up a blog, which was a first for us, with new blog posts every day. And we run a prize draw for a free laptop health check and £10 worth of print credits. It's very popular with students, print credits. And we also asked people to vote for us in the I Love My Service Desk competition. And I'm actually really happy to say that we managed to secure third place, so a well done to the team who once again just kind of really welcomed this and threw themselves into it. And this brings me sort of to the last bit really, and it's all about flying this flag and celebrating success. And it's one tip that I would really kind of recommend if you are embarking on any CSIP. Let people know what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's really important to celebrate success. You know, after all, nobody's going to fly your flag for you. You've got to get out there and do it yourself. And I must admit, I found this a bit uncomfortable at first. It's not very British, is it? Getting up and telling people all about your good work and how great your team are. But we did it, and we've done it in a number of ways. As I said, we've used Twitter quite a lot. I've made sure that I've tweeted about everything the help desk have been doing. We talked to the SDI, and we had a great article that was in the Support Works magazine. And most importantly, on the 4th of September, we held a celebratory event for the formal presentation of the plaque and trophy. We invited several senior managers within the university, and we contacted the university comms team and asked them to do an article for the staff pages. And we even got the university photographer to come along. It was a great day. Jane Madeley, who is our university finance manager, came along and was really impressed with the work that we'd done. So we have achieved our aim of improving our relationship with key stakeholders, and it was really all important that the team received recognition for the work and effort that had gone into the process, and I really feel that this will help us maintain some of the momentum and really keep it going. So that's it really. Thank you very much for listening. Apologies about the technical issues that we had last week. I hope some of you have found it interesting, and it would be even better if you found it useful. But just to let you know, you can follow me on Twitter, it's @SallyBogg, and if you do have any questions about this process, then feel free to let the SDI know, and I'm sure they'll pass them on to me. So thank you very much, and I'm going to hand you back over to Zoe.
Thank you, Sally. Fantastic, and some really useful stuff there, I think, in terms of the practicalities, and just good for people to have an example. So thank you for being so open, really, with your story and sharing that with everyone.
No problem.
And as you say, yeah, if people want to get in touch with SDI, you can. There's a contact form on our website where I'll be directing people to view this presentation. But also, if you're listening to this elsewhere, you can email hello@sdi-e.com, or just, as I say, contact your account manager or anywhere else on the website that you can fill out that contact form. So thank you again, Sally. And we will look forward to inviting you to some webinars and events in the future. And thanks everybody for listening.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.